Well,
It's been 4
yeah,
years.
4 years? Okay, 4 years, okay. Go ahead over there.
You coming too?
Sure. Actually, yeah.
Going one. It's coming.
Ron, in appreciation for all of your service. Whereas Ron has served as the Director of Planning and Economic Development for the Charter Township of Van Buren for 4 years. And whereas Ron Akers has served in a leadership role of a management team in the Public Service Department, spearheading many accomplishments such as the development of the township's first ordinance, regulating shoreline structures on Belleville Lake, the renovation of the Development Services Office area into a more customer-oriented space, the development and adoption of Van Buren Township Public Participation Plan, the successful adoption of a more friendly and digital zoning ordinance, the consolidation of the Planning and Economic Development Department and the Public Services Department to solidify a team-based approach and promote efficiency in workflow, effective managed $1.5 million in local road improvements for the Wallenwood subdivision, McBride Road, Venetian, DeWitt, and Jeanette, and helped us secure $1 million in grants from Wayne County and the state of Michigan for the construction of the Iron Bell Trail. Excuse me. Initiating an internship program which has placed 3 interns in professional employment. The engagement of Van Buren Township in the Michigan Economic Development Corporation's Redevelopment Ready Communities Program, and whereas Ron has overseen the approval of several significant economic development projects in Van Buren Township, including Subaru Research and Development, Ashley Capital Crossroads, North Distribution Center, Mazers Manufacturing, C Mortgage Headquarters Office, Piston Automotive Manufacturing Facility, Menard's Home Improvement Store, JPMC Site Security Upgrades, and U.S. Signal Data Center for approximately total investment of $300 million in Van Buren Township and over 1,000 new jobs in the community. And whereas Ron has moved on to the next step to his career to serve as the Department of Public Service Directors for the city of Ypsilanti, be it therefore resolved, the Charter Township of Van Buren Trustees does hereby tender to Ron Akers both its appreciation for his many labors and many thanks for a job well done, and it wishes him well in all future personal and professional endeavors.
You should say,
Oh,
okay.
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 No.
Why don't you say something, because I know you don't like to do that kind of stuff, but I'm
There
gonna
you go.
push you to say something.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. It's been a pleasure working for Van Buren Township these last 4 years, and I appreciate all the support that I've gotten from staff and the various boards and commissions here at the township. So thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Shake his hand.
Thank you, Director.
I think they want to shake your hand.
Yeah. Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Ron. We'll be calling you. Thank you. The next item is an executive summary on what's going on today. Today, we have 5 new business items to discuss and approve. The first is to consider the personal service agreement for Christopher Sloto, who is being offered a position of Superintendent of Building and Grounds. We then will be approving paying for the Summer Youth Job Initiative. That's our real program. It'll be kicking off very soon. We are making some additions to our policies today, including a social media policy and reaffirming that Van Buren's workplace will be drug-free. We are also making an adjustment to our internal dress code. And finally, we are approving work to continue the renovation of the Township Hall, including the hallways and the boardroom. Let's go on to adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion? Trustee Martin?
Make a motion that we adopt the agenda as presented.
Support.
Who said that? Okay, Frazier. Okay, I have a motion by trustee Martin, supported by trustee Frazier. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is adoption of the consent agenda. Who would like to make that?
I make that motion.
Clerk Wright.
I'd like to make the motion to adopt the consent agenda, which consists of the work-study meeting minutes of June 17, 2019, board meeting minutes of June 18, 2019, prepaid list of June 20th, 2019, prepaid list of June 27, 2019, and the voucher list of July 2nd, 2019.
Support.
Mr. Miller. All right, I have a motion for approval for consent agenda from Clerk Wright, support from trustee Miller. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is a public hearing. We have none. Next item is announcements. I'll begin over with trustee Frazier.
We have an opioid awareness forum and Narcan nasal spray training. The date is going to be in September 12th, 5:30 to 7:45. It'll be at the Wayne County Community College District on Haggerty Road in Van Buren Township. There'll be Fire Chief Amy Brow and Reggie Miller will be there to moderate. The speakers will include Officer McCormick, Patrick Stropes, the manager of Peer Recovery Support Services, Growth Works. Congresswoman Debbie Dingle will be there to speak. Darlene Owens, Director of Substance Use Disorder from the Detroit Wayne County Mental Health Authority. It'll be followed by questions and answers with the public, and you'll also be able to get Narcan training. I believe there'll be free kits given out when you get the Narcan training, so that you may be instrumental in saving a person's life who may be using drugs. So join us on September 12th.
Brian?
I now hear it.
Could be rain, just saying.
Oh, okay, that's right,
I think
okay.
that's right.
I'm sorry, we've got a loud air conditioner that I've never heard before, and I think we just got hit with rain. Trustee Miller, would you continue?
Hi, everyone. Please join us for our free summer concert series that's taking place on Wednesday evenings in mid-July, and the lineup is as follows. Wednesday, July 10th, the Dan Rafferty Band will be playing from 7 to 8:30. Wednesday, July 17th, the Blue Water Kings Band. Wednesday, July 24th, this is a real treat, 50 amp views. All concerts run from 7 to 8:30 and will be taking place at the Senior Activity Garden, which is located directly behind Van Buren Township Hall. Please bring your lawn chairs or a blanket, and let's come together to enjoy good music, good company, and just fun.
Okay, go over to Clerk Wright.
Okay, I'd like to announce that the Township Administrative Building will be closed in observance of the 4th of July holiday, July 4th, and Friday, July 5th, throughout the weekend, returning to work on July 8th. Have a safe and happy holiday season.
Okay, Trustee Martin.
The real neighborhood cleanup action. Are you a resident who lives within the Van Buren Township area, are at least 55 years of age, and are in need of lawn care services? The real neighborhood cleanup action is accepting solicitations for lawn care services such as mowing, edging, weeding, pruning, leaf cleanup, hedge trimming, and mulching and planting flowers, homeowners to provide. This is a free, one-time service community outreach group. All home sites will be viewed for a thorough assessment prior to scheduling an appointment for lawn care. Please call our office at 734-699-8900, extension 9293 by July 5th, 2019, to schedule an assessment of your property. Disclaimer, we also reserve the right to turn down any citizen for lawn care services.
Okay, Trustee White.
Evening. The September Day Senior Center will be receiving a new smart bus that's Southeastern Michigan Regional Transportation Vehicle next week. A ribbon cutting is planned for July 16, 2019 at 11 a.m. in the Senior Center. And this vehicle is used for the purpose of transporting seniors to and from events and any other thing that it would be eligible to do.
Okay. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to make comment? Come on up, Ms. Chikat. I've already seen your emails. You're already working. Okay.
Apparently I'm shorter than everybody. So
What's her
my name's
name?
Ashley Shukite, of course. I like to bug everybody about different things community-wide. Over the last few weeks, I wanted to take the acknowledgement and notice how much the community has grown into involving itself, whether it's for seniors, for youth, how much the board and the members of Van Buren Township actually put in the time and commitment to make the community better, whether you agree with it or not. It's still hard work to deal with that many people. And I really would like to have some type of positivity shined on the township as we're embracing this growth and these different programs like the Real, which I'm kind of jealous that I'm over the age. But to have some type of like member spotlight to where we're working on social media and trying to get people more interactive and involved. And how do we exemplify this by highlighting the good things that our people are doing to encourage others? My first nomination would be, Belleville for benches for Belleville. Marina has done amazing work, but she's also inspired a bunch of young kids to reduce littering and to have that commitment that she does at such a young age. I really think it makes a huge impact for other people to empower youth, empower members of the community that are making a difference instead of just pointing out crimes or negative events that are happening. So that's all.
Thank you. I'll be in touch because that is a good idea, and we are putting together, we have a Van Buren today that we are slowly but surely putting together. We are looking for special interest stories like that. And quite frankly, we've got some other, you would make a good one by what you've done for our community also. Thank you.
Through the chair, if I may.
Trustee Miller.
I've talked to this board many times, a lot of them individually, about how we end our meetings, sometimes, mostly, on a negative note. And we need to bring forward the great things that this board and this community has done. And I think we should bring forward groups like, and organizations like Friday Phillip. We had Martha Hanoin and Gabby talk about this great program that gives back to the community, and it's a food bank. And it was a wonderful feeling to be able to talk about that and highlight that, and the feeling that I got from that was wonderful. I hate seeing these board meetings be so contentious that we lose the thought that we have a greater good here. So let's bring forward these groups. When we see people doing great things, let's talk about it. And that energy will bleed out into the community in a good way. So if you know of a group, you know of a person who's doing an excellent job, bring them forward, let the board know so that we can spotlight them, bring them forward, and introduce them to the community and what they're doing. They'll inspire others, so there you go.
Through the chair. Well, I agree that we all should be grateful for all the great things that the community does. And certainly we have exceptional residents who go above and beyond the call of duty always to keep us in the forefront. And we try to be, as a board, on the cutting edge by being progressive and being out there and being proactive on most issues. But I do not agree with Trustee Miller regarding contentious issues. I'm sorry, but there are issues that come before the board. Everything can't be, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, we agree with everything. Everybody has their own perspective on things. We all bring a variety of employment backgrounds to the table, and we all have a variety of information to offer. And I think that's important in a democracy, that you have a place where you can discuss and come together at the end. And that's what we
Thank you.
do we come
No,
together as a
We're going off onto something this
consensus.
is not
Okay.
meant to do.
But,
I thought,
okay.
but I
But
thought
I
that this
think
is
the
in
great
one way, it
thing-
should go the other, and not, but
Yeah.
let's end it now.
It's a great thing to.
We're gonna move back, we're gonna move
highlight
back
the
into where the
community.
meeting is, okay?
Community.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the unfinished business, which we have none.
No?
New business, first item, to consider approval of Christopher Slotow's personal service agreement as superintendent of building and grounds. Can I get a motion before we begin?
I make a motion, we approve Christopher Shotos' personal service agreement as superintendent of building and grounds.
Support.
All right, I got a motion, I got support. Director Best.
Yes, thank you, Board. Today I'm here to present to you for approval Christopher Schutlow's personal service agreement, and Christopher himself is here today to answer questions. After an extensive search, after the retirement of our previous building and grounds superintendent, Jeff Fonda, an extensive search was done. Over 100 applicants applied for this position. We whittled it down, the team led by HR Director Nicole Sumter, whittled the 100 applicants down to 10, then down to 5. During that intense interview process, we selected Christopher to be the replacement for and to be the new superintendent for building and grounds. He has worked in the public sector for 14 years, starting his career in Bloomfield Township in Public Works. Prior to accepting this position, he was the water services manager at Wayne County Metropolitan Airport, which includes both the Metro Airport and Willow Run in our community. He has a bachelor's degree in liberal arts and science from Western Michigan, majoring in political science as the water utility manager. He holds an S1 Water Distribution Systems operator license and has also successfully completed this prestigious Michigan Public Services Institute. I cannot be more proud in our recommendation for Christopher to be the next Building and Grounds Superintendent for the Department of Public Services. He's here today. I'd like to introduce you to him and I'd answer any questions that you, the board, may have. So with that, I'll introduce Chris.
Okay, where are we starting? Okay, yeah, do you want to come on up? Just welcome, I think. We'll officially move that maybe in a minute, okay? I don't think you'd have any, do you have anything to add, or?
No,
Just-
I'm pretty happy to be
Okay.
happy to serve Van Buren Township. It seems
Okay, all right.
a great place to be.
Thank you. Does anybody here on the board have any questions?
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Glad
Okay,
to
then.
have you.
Hearing none, then I have a motion for approval by trustee Frazier, supported by trustee Miller, for the approval of Christopher Slotow's personal service agreement. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Christopher, welcome. Could you come by and shake everybody's hand? It's probably first time we're gonna, you're loved right now.
Oh, I missed you.
My hand was wet.
Yeah, she's in the office of Beju.
Thank you, board.
Thank you. All right, yes.
I just had one comment regarding, this has nothing to do with Mr. Shuto's appointment, but I do have a concern regarding the process of how we hire, and I think we need to look at our policy, and if it needs to be changed, then we should do that, but we're on a slippery slope right now, as far as I'm concerned, because if it happens once, that we hire somebody without the board approval, it could happen again and it could be used as a precedent. So I would like for us to look at our policy, review it,
Sure.
and maybe it needs to be tweaked.
Problem. Okay, next item, to consider approval of Detroit Mental Health Authority award of $55,000. This is for our summer youth employment program. We call it the RIO. Trustee Martin.
I make a motion to approve the Detroit Mental Health Authority Award of $55,000 for the Summer Youth Job Initiative, or REAL program.
Support.
Okay, Treasurer Bud, she isn't. Okay. Director Sumter, and don't mind me, but my chair just broke.
The township has been awarded the amount of $55,000 for the 2019 REAL, which stands for Revealing Exceptionally Amazing Leaders. The interviews were conducted on June 24, 2019 through June 26, 2019 for the team leaders and community ambassadors, as well as the camp counselors in training. A total of 15 positions were filled with 3 promotions. Malden III has been with us for 2 years since the beginning of the program. He was promoted to a leader. Ariana Carson, she was promoted to a leader this year, and she's also cross-trained as a community ambassador as well as a camp counselor and trainer. Our newest addition is Jada Hoskins, who came into the program last year and was quickly promoted by all of her teammates last year to be a leader this year. I just want to let you know that all of these student employees have shown tremendous growth and maturity in teamwork and leadership this year. The program's focus this year is STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. The children will be going to Google, hopefully, still working on that, Amazon. Michigan Science Center will be here. Their team building is going to be a survivor technique out in the Quirk Park on July 11th, so we hope to see you there. The budget and everything is included in your packet, as well as the program for the entire 6 weeks. And with that, I'll answer any questions the board may have.
Through the chair.
Trustee Frazier?
I'd just like to commend Director Sumter regarding the opportunities that we're giving students, and would like to thank the supervisor for getting us started with the Detroit Mental Health Authority and getting us a grant to bring this program to the youth of Van Buren. It's an excellent program, and I think the fact that we've had it in place for, this is 3 years, isn't it?
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years, and that we've had students stay in the program and wanted to be promoted to leaders shows that we're running an excellent program.
Thank you.
And that Director Sumter has brought in career motivational speakers for the students and giving them more opportunities than just doing the dirty work of cleaning up yards. They're learning about their future and about how to do interviews and how to network and a lot of different business skills that they will need as they go forth in life. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Trustee Clerk Wright?
I just want to echo what Trustee Frazier just said. I don't know how many times I've been approached out in the community regarding this program, by parents or the individuals that's involved. I think it's a great program. They think it's a great program. Their kids love it, and like we say, it's a training program that's actually training youth to be adults and how to coexist in the world, in the workplace today. So I think it's a great program.
Thank you, Clerk Wright.
Right.
I know you added 2 other positions this year.
Yes, yes, I
Congratulations
did.
on that.
Thanks.
You've talked about how the work is cleaning up yards, the downright dirty stuff. But let's talk about the mental wellness side of it.
Yes, each year the children have just like a mandatory mental health conference that they go to every year. And it is down at the Cobo Center. I think it's going to be at the Cobo Center this year, where they go and they have breakout sessions and they get to actually network with other communities that also got a grant similar to ours. I will say our group stands out from the rest of them, and the members of the Mental Health Authority know us when we walk through the door, and it is out of probably 500 to 600 people, but they know when the real walks through the door. So, yes, they're learning a lot.
Outnumbered by Detroit.
But they still know us.
Okay, all set?
Right.
I have a motion for approval by Trustee Martin. It is supported by Treasurer Bud to consider approval of the $55,000 summer youth grant. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next item is to consider approval of the updates to the policy and procedure manual. Motion,
Through the chair.
Treasurer
I
Bud.
make a motion, we approve the updates to the policy and procedure manual.
Clerk Wright. Okay, Director Sumter.
Okay, again, good evening. We would like to discuss the updates to the following sections of the Policies and Procedure Manual. Section 1.20, part-time employees. Section 4.07, other unpaid leaves. Section 7.09, social media acceptable. And Section 711, drug-free workplace policies. We'll also be talking about Section 7.23, dress code, which is talking about facial hair grooming. From November 2018 to April 2019, 2 new laws that directly affected workplaces has been implemented, which required our policies to be updated according to Michigan state laws. The Paid Medical Leave Act, PMLA is what it's called, and the Proposal 1, legalization of marijuana. We've also added the new addition to the social media, which was introduced for approval in the near future by the township. And I just want to make sure that everyone got the legal opinion from our attorney today by email. So just to talk about the Paid Medical Leave Act, it was effective March 1st. It was for our few part-time people that we have here, and we had 3 employees that were actually qualified. What qualifies them is the amount of hours that they work per year. We gave them 40 hours for the entire year. It does not roll over, so they do have to requalify for that every year. They may not get it, some may not. So we go by that at the end of the year. Section 4.07, other unpaid leaves, I just put in that it's for part-time people now because before it did not include the part-time people. The Social Media and Acceptable Act, we added the the addendum, which we're going to add not as a resolution, but as an actual policy. So with that, if you have any questions about this now, other than what the attorney sent over, if you had any other questions than that, I'll feel free to answer those for
You
you.
fill them in on what the attorney said, just in case you missed it.
The attorney did say that we cannot police what other people put on there. As far as our employees, we can monitor them. There is a possibility if we find anything offensive, it can be a discipline action. But as far as the public, it will violate the First Amendment, freedom of speech.
I did not get that. I got the fact that we cannot discipline the employees if they're on their own social media.
I've gotten 2 separate emails. We can discipline our employees if they do put down anything disparaging regarding our township or our board.
Through the chair. I agree with the supervisor. I read it to mean that we cannot police an employee's personal Facebook page or anything like that, because it would be a violation of freedom of speech. They have a right.
Understanding of it then, because we
She
talked
did make,
about it.
she did make an interesting comment at the end of one of those line items that didn't make sense to me.
Right.
I can tell you that in police and fire, they are, I've got,
Prohibited.
yeah, they are prohibited. They are absolutely prohibited from disparaging the owner's department. And it is an offense that gives time off and ultimately could have them
Right.
fired.
So maybe there was a
But
misunderstanding,
they
but
are,
I will double check with
they're a
her.
military organization as far as I'm concerned. They've got a lot of different rules that aren't
I
the
thought they
same
were
rules.
discouraged from, I thought the police and fire are strongly discouraged from having a Facebook
officer?
page.
You're not just discouraged. If an officer was doing disparaging Facebooks towards their own community, you would be given time off, correct? Yeah.
Are you discouraged from having a Facebook page? Or,
Doesn't matter. Mm-hmm.
but it's up
Yeah,
to you
so-
if you have one.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's also what they comment on. But they're unusual. The rest of the, I'm pretty, yeah.
Dan just informed me of something. He said it was unclear, and he sent another email that I did not see.
That
But
was
yeah,
an
that was
unclear
my
statement at the
understanding
end.
of
I'm
that.
pretty sure that
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
we request that she read the letter from the attorney so that there's no misunderstanding?
What's in the letter? It wasn't a
Go
letter,
ahead.
it was an email.
The email,
It's very
okay. but
short.
it
It's very short.
It was
Extremely short.
confusing. I think the best thing, through the chair, I think the best thing to do is ask for a formal, legal opinion from the attorney and then read it, because it was just 2 lines, 2 single emails, which was kind of condescending and it's confusing. I didn't understand it myself. I indicated that too.
Okay, but at any rate, this is regarding how we're gonna handle our social media more than anything else. So I'd like to pull this string through anyway.
It wasn't confusing to me, but the only thing about that is you have to read it backwards because the newest email is at the top. So I started at the bottom and read to the top, and that's how I read it. And it says that basically, we have the right to speak our opinion because of the Freedom of Speech Act.
On your own social media accounts.
Social media, correct. And of course, I know that our phones and our emails are monitored through the township. And as far as that goes and everything, but on our own social media page, we can pretty well say what we want to.
That's, and this is directly toward our social media page.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
referring to employees posting on their own and somebody finds out about it. That's what me and the attorney discussed. So like I said, maybe it was a misunderstanding of what
Okay.
we were talking about in the email that I was reading. So that was the understanding that I got from it.
Our social media page, basically, the reason we want this is because this is going to basically say you can't do politics on our own social media pages. Okay, any of them, okay? And we're gonna be able to police ourselves on that
Yes.
in our own way.
Right.
So,
Media page should be monitored, and no email should be put up there until the person monitoring approves it.
that's what this says. This codifies what we're going to do and how we're gonna do it. All right, any other questions? Hearing none, I have a motion by Treasurer Bud. It's supported by Clerk Wright to consider approval of the updates to the Policy and Procedure Manual. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? This motion passes. Thank you very much, Director. Next item is consider approval of the change order to the multi-purpose room recreation desk and waiting area project that includes the Township Hall-wide painting and flooring township-wide. Can I get a motion?
Support.
Clerk Wright?
So move, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I make the motion to consider the approval of change order to the multipurpose room, recreation desk, and waiting area project to include Township Hall wide painting and flooring.
who's that? Oh, Martin, okay. Okay. Director Best?
Hi, how are you? Once again, I'm here to discuss the change order was first, right? Change order? Okay. The change order for the multipurpose room and recreation desk waiting area project to include township-wide painting and flooring. As part of the capital improvement project CIP Plus program, as we've been working on since 2017. Well, that's a good start. We have been working towards renovations of this building, and I've been bringing to you bits and pieces of everything as we started. It works. Thank you. Bits and pieces of this project as we started. One of the things that we just did and began to work on is the renovation of the multipurpose room, which includes the recreation entrance and waiting area. This project includes painting and flooring in that hallway and in the main multipurpose room space. Those contractors from Cross Renovations are going to be on site and working here very shortly once they're at the point of the project to do the flooring and the painting. At the same time, there is a desire to do the updates to the main hallway. The main hallway will and the public space in that main hallway from the multipurpose room all the way through to public safety. as we've been saying all along, this is a project that we are excited to bring to the township. If you look, areas to be painted in the township hall, it goes from the senior center, from the multi-purpose area, from the senior center to the multi-purpose area, all the way down to public safety. Public safety was going to be painted, however, they didn't want to wait to look great, so they have already done some painting in there to take care of their issues. Then we also identified areas where the flooring is the original flooring from the construction of the building since 1996. And in this area, flooring is, the bathrooms was not part of the multipurpose room project, but it is part of this flooring, so there'll be, all the bathroom areas will be refloored, the dining commons for the seniors, all the public hallways, the main entrance, going all the way through the employee lounge and through the police department and the roll call room. No office spaces or programmed spaces were included in this, such as the craft room or the other room that's there, the gift shop. Those areas are each their own unique items, so we're handling them separately as we go.
And that would mean the computer?
We're going to bring that forward to you in
Programmatic.
this year's budget time. We'll be discussing those.
Programmatic spaces, we're going to look at individually based on the previous work that we've already done. So this public spaces will be handled. The only two real public spaces that we're flooring are the dining room, which is one of the most high-traffic areas of the township, and the roll call room, which is one of the most important rooms in the township. So with this project and with contractors here ready to go to start laying tile and doing paint and moving forward. In 2018, we did bids for flooring and tiling, and at that time, once we got the bids, Cross Renovations actually was the lowest bidder with the flooring and painting together. But we weren't really ready to move forward. We were kind of trying to budget how much we needed, and that's one of the reasons why we put the budget at what we had. At this point, we didn't think that Cross Renovations would be at the point where we could utilize them for the same flooring and painting. It just so happens that the timing works out perfectly. We'll be able to have the same, if we move forward with a change order to the multipurpose room project and add the flooring and the painting to this project, we'll be able to start in the multipurpose room, add the flooring, add the painting, and continue continuously with the same contractors with less mobilization costs. The cost for the painting and flooring will actually be cheaper than it would have been by itself with a different contractor, and will limit the amount of time that this area is under construction. We'll be able to move quickly, fast, and efficiently. One other key point is if you use the same contractor, you can have the same lot of paint and flooring. The dye colors sometimes change in the flooring, and you might not get the exact color. A good example of that is if you go and I'm not pointing this out to make everyone worry about it, but we have the fitness room, game room letters. The fitness room letters were purchased a few years after the game room letters, but they're the same company and the same product, but they're slightly different. So if you look at them, they're almost perfect. We don't want almost perfect, we want perfect. So this is one of the ways for us to do that. So what is it going to look like? We hired an interior, well, first let me just quickly, the bid is very simple. The flooring and painting together, the base bid for the flooring is $69,350. The flooring base bid for the flooring is $109,663. It's actually cheaper than their original bid that they had on both because of the areas that we've removed. We're very comfortable with these prices. We feel that they're competitive. What is it going to look like? We hired our interior designer who is also working with us on the multipurpose room project and is our furniture supplier for our other projects. That's backwards. There we go. So this is the concept art for the project. And as you can see, it is a vinyl tile floor. There's accent colors in the painting. This is the elections and clerk's office desk and the hallway going down. Various accents, whether they're paintings or decorative pieces of wood, can be added. We have a lot of display cases that would go, but a simpler look is more what we're going for, but we can determine that as we go. The basics of it is it's a light gray color on the walls, accent colors to make the areas you want to pop, and the flooring color, which I have a copy. Oh, the flooring here today. It's a 20-year guaranteed commercial heavy grade product, and it's hard to see in the light, but it is brown, and it has some yellow and grays in it, and it balances out all the colors of our offices. So,
Okay,
with that,
thank you.
we've worked very hard for this, and I'd be glad to take your
It's been
questions.
2 years in the making. It's been 25 years since we've done this building. It is time. Does anybody have any questions? Trustee Miller?
I appreciate all the hard work that your department has put into bringing this forward. I thank Davenport Brothers for coming yesterday and giving us a thorough explanation to any questions that we had. And then on the way over here, I had to think about when we had that active shooter class and the suggestions for this boardroom. And one of those beings was to put in a door possibly there, and some other suggestions were offered. I can't remember what they all were, but I thought, well, we should take a look at those and see if we're incorporating those. I know we missed the door, and if it's too late to do that, it's too late, but that was one suggestion that came out of that.
And I'd be happy to put that into the looking into that as an add-on for the boardroom contract. Yes, absolutely.
All right, thank
Yep.
you.
Any other questions? Trustee White?
Foot cost on this?
The square foot cost on this? I actually don't have a square footage cost. It is a straight, it's what's called it's a lump sum cost price, which includes all the services required, which is removing the existing VCT flooring and 4-inch cove base, the furnishing of new 4-inch cove base and transition strips at the door locations, installing the new flooring throughout as indicated, clean up and throwing everything away, and then doing the same for the painting. They actually have to remove a lot of wallpaper. I didn't sit down and actually figure out a square footage price cost.
So this is just one job for one price and nothing is itemized in this, is what you're saying?
Yeah, this is what's called a lump sum bid. And the lump sum bid, you identify, or it's a lump sum price, you identify the areas you want done, and you identify the services, and they give you their price for doing it. Under this change order, it is, actually, the price for the flooring is very similar in price to what they're doing in the other, in the multipurpose room.
But
1 second, Trustee White?
my perspective that each individual item should be itemized with a square foot cost on the flooring, also the cost on the painting, and the cost on anything else, even the removal of flooring, it should be itemized. Every facet of that should have an itemization to it, so we know exactly what each and everything is costing us.
So,
That's okay. Yeah, we didn't do it that way. Trustee Frazier?
So if Crosswinds, who got the bid for the recreation area, is right?
yes, they are currently halfway through the project, yes.
So they got the bid for that, and we did not bid out for the whole section of the painting. We didn't bid the painting and the floor out. We just gave it to Crosswinds. Are they gonna complete it? Is that what you're saying?
Budget based upon our numbers from last year. And we asked them for a number to see if they could come within that budget, and they were under that budget, so we went with it. Otherwise, we'd have to
Okay.
go through a month or two process.
Well, I'm all for that, but that really, leaves out a variety of people. I know we're doing it for expedience, and that we want to rush it through and get it done and have the less downtime that we can. But it's still, you know, I mean, so in other words, if you go to work for Van Buren and you bid on a little thing, what I think it's saying is that, hey, you can get the big thing too, and you don't even
Actually,
have to
I'm going to answer this
rebid.
one because she's exactly right. And you are right, because that's what we did do here. We made
Okay.
it very clear at the very beginning, whoever gets this award, if they can maintain the budget under what we have budgeted for this, they will continue down the hallway. Okay, we said that when they first came in here, that if,
remember that.
yeah, they said that there's a good chance that this is gonna be the company that continues down the hallway.
Was that in their contract?
No, but it was stated here. It was stated
You
here.
know, we're being sloppy in our business practices. I mean, this is just an observation. Just like we hired somebody before the board approved them, now we're giving a bid out for more. I mean, Matt, come on. We're a government agency and we have responsibilities to the taxpayer. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, thank you.
Put it out for bid, or it wasn't necessary? You're saying because it was a lump sum.
It was within the budget that we had approved as a group. I mean, it was a line item budget. It was a line item even.
Okay, we approved doing the whole floor before, so why is it up here now, a change order? That's what I'm confused with, because if we already approved the change order to do it,
We go back to the board with it.
then why are we doing it again? We already gave it to
Hey,
them.
talk through me, okay?
Oh, I thought we were
Okay.
supposed to talk to
Yeah, I know, but
the
I just want to
director.
make, I want to make sure that, I think that I don't want, I want it to be straight business, okay? So
Well,
what is the
then,
question?
okay. The question is, I'm confused why we're approving a change order when we already, you said that we've already approved them to do the extra work when we first hired them.
No, we had a line item budget that we had for the CIP plus for the floors and for the removal of the wallpaper and the paint. They got the first job part of it, and we stated at that time that based on what they do, exactly what they do, that's going to set precedence for the rest of the building. If they can maintain the budget, they will probably be awarded the other sections. But they had to bid for those things, and they had to come in under the line items that we already had out there.
Okay, but it wasn't, what I'm saying, it wasn't in the contract. It was just words, and it should be in the contract.
Correct. Clerk?
I have a question. I'd like to call the question. We talked about this extensively last night,
Yesterday, we talked about it a long time.
on and on. And
I don't
it should be clear now what we're doing here.
I didn't
We've
get a
talked
chance
about.
to ask my questions, and you're calling it, that's
But
a
you
violation.
can ask that.
Rules of orders, you cannot call a question until everybody has
That's right.
a reasonable time to speak.
We've always said that, okay, at least one time. Trustee Miller.
Question
I
anytime.
did ask you, but
If I think we're going off on a tantrum, I can call the question, and I think we're doing that.
gold standard. I had the
Okay.
floor.
Reggie
not
has-
No,
by-
you're done. Trustee Miller, you've been over 3 minutes. Go ahead, Trustee Miller.
I asked you for the floor, you gave it to me, and,
And then you took it away.
but,
I
okay,
just gave-
let's get back on task.
Do it.
Let's get back on task, please. And it is about business, but I don't, please explain to me, so I have a better understanding of why we only bid out a portion of this and not the whole thing. What was the reasoning behind it?
And
One area, and then it was like, well, okay, once we do that, we're gonna go down the hallway and we're gonna give you that job.
Because we'd be hiring the same people to do this,
I'm not done talking. So the problem that I see here is that we set a dollar amount, a budgeted amount, and then we don't bid it out accordingly, or maybe I don't understand how this came about, because usually we go out for bid, you bid the project, and now this Cross Renovations, they do great work, you know, we all know that. It's not about that, it's about the process. So how did it come about How did it come about that this happened like this?
If you remember from the discussion we had about the multipurpose room decision to convert to a dance studio and do the work in that entryway was a specific project for a specific need. We had a dance company who was, according to the space and needs assessment, utilized the space for the majority of its use. Only 3 other groups use that space 3 times a year. The waiting area was overutilized, and people were sitting on the floor. We brought the project to the board to address those specific conditions and did it separately because they were very important issues separately to deal with. And that's why we separated that project and let the board decide how they wanted to move forward, if they wanted to move forward with the project or not. We knew that the flooring and the painting projects were going to happen. We put that in the CIP project and brought those to you, but we kept them separate because in 2018, we weren't sure if we were going to have one contractor give us a great price that does just flooring, or one contractor that does just painting, and they would give us a better price than the company that is doing the construction work and the contracting work that is required to change that room and that space. So when in 2018 we looked at the bids that we were getting when we were getting requests for quotes for the painting and the flooring, it became clear that Cross Renovations could meet and exceed the prices that were being supplied by companies that do that work specifically. And at that point, it became possible for us to have them potentially do the work all together. However, we did not put that work together because we wanted, the multipurpose room decision was important enough that the board needed to make that decision separately, how they wanted to proceed. And you did, and I think the township will benefit from the great decision that you made. In this instance, the timing is coming up as it's time to start doing the flooring and the painting. They're at the point where they're ready to do the flooring and the painting. And as we do it in one shot, we limit the amount of time. We get the same product all the way throughout, no changes of dyes or variations. And we're getting the best price I think that we are going to get. Now, other companies may have had a better price for flooring, but it didn't include the removal of the tile. And we talked about the removal of the tile yesterday. Is if you don't remove the tile, you have the creases coming in on the flooring. So we believe this is the best way to move forward in this project. I think.
Okay, Cross is a general contractor. Cross gave us the low bid. Cross got bids for themselves. Cross won the bid. Cross came in with a lower bid than they had before. Numerous people bid up to Cross. Cross is a general. Cross is nobody.
Nobody else got
Yeah.
a chance to bid on the total floor.
Everybody did.
No.
To Cross.
They did? I
get to
didn't
bid
see anything
to
in our packet
Cross.
saying there were other companies that
To
bid.
Cross.
But we didn't see
Yeah.
that.
We
They
didn't see
bid
that.
to Cross.
Hence
Cross is
the-
a
I'd
general
like to see that.
contractor.
But we
So,
didn't see that.
It looks
I mean,
like
yeah.
That
like
makes,
a
okay, now I
Okay,
get it.
propped up deal here.
Supervisor, you just made the statement that Cross did a good job in the dance arena, so you gave them the hallway. Yeah, that's exactly what you
Holding their
said.
prices and they're coming down, yes.
This wasn't actually bid. You just gave it to Cross because they did a good job.
Cross
It
bids
came
out.
in under the budget line items that they gave us from 2 years
Nobody
ago.
else got to bid. That's the
Bid to
point.
Cross. Cross is a general. They don't do this work.
Cross,
oversee
where
it.
did Cross put his bids out
This is a
to?
general contract.
Where did Cross?
Actually,
What are the
I know
other
one or
bids
two
that
people
Cross
that bid
got
in the area
from?
that didn't do very well on it, but
Did Davenport's get a chance to bid on the?
they don't do this either.
So you know, general contracting, it's very common where general contractors will go out and put out on their list of contractors that do that work. There's hundreds and hundreds of contractors that get contacted by generals and bid out these jobs, and then the general marks up the price and then supplies the bid back. So this is a standard practice, and the only reason that we're coming with the change order is because we did our homework last year, we've done our homework this year, we believe we have a very good price for the township, and we can move quickly and limit the impact to our residents that is going to be occurring in this building.
This is exact-
Clerk
I
Wright?
think it's the exact same way we build out the building and planning department. the exact same way. The general
It is.
contractor, cross renovation doesn't actually do the work. They bid out their work to subcontractors.
They subcontract everything. Okay, and the biggest reason, I mean, I keep remembering the airport. In order to do it, Wayne County has a deal, if you make a change of more than $10,000, it's gotta go through the approval process. The approval process involves 6 different departments' approval. It involves 2 weeks' notice in the newspaper that you're putting out a bid. You have to have another 2 weeks or something of review by the commission. It would take 90 days to do a change order for an extra stall in the bathroom. So you award out to a general, and you let the general do all the subbing out, and then you just keep on using his contract to feed through the system.
So kind of like a broker.
Yes, yes, yes.
Instead of having all that stuff decided by the contractor, we made sure that we could come back to you with this change order to show you exactly what we're doing and what the price was gonna be to keep you
But if
in
it's
the
over
loop.
the budget, then we got a real problem now. Then now it's okay, broker, we got a broker or contractor, we've got a real big problem. So now, as long as they're coming in under the numbers that we budgeted based upon our first go-around bidding, we're okay.
It seems, you know.
Otherwise, I'm gonna be bidding this stuff out
Seems
till July
complicated,
of next
and
year.
it seems, so what you're saying is cross renovations are using subcontractors, they're not even doing the work.
I'll give you a great example. Cross Renovations hired Castle Carpentry to do the demo and the carpentry work in that shop. So if you went in there the first 2 days we were there, you would have found a different company other than Cross working on the carpentry. Their plumber was a different plumber. Their electrician was a different electrician. They've had 2 different electricians in there because of how they bid the job. So they bid out this wide area net, and they get the best prices, and that's why on the Cross job, they were half the nearest bid.
Quick question, if I may.
And we're gonna
So,
move.
do Davenport Brothers do it like this as
Yes.
well?
Ozier is the electrician in here. I don't know who the carpeting or the tile person is.
Had an opportunity to bid on the multipurpose room project at the time that we did that as well.
My question is, do they do it like Cross Renovations where they subcontract it out, for lack of a better word?
They do.
Yes, okay.
The work, yes, for some of the work,
Yeah,
yes.
All right.
okay. I have a motion by Clerk Wright, and it is supported by Trustee Martin.
Just like to know the total for the change order. It's
169 and 109, together.
109? Authorizing to spend 69,000 and 109,000 additional funding to do the hallway.
But that is within the budget for the $1 million of total work that we're doing in this
Yes,
area.
it was part of the original budget.
All right, I have a motion approved by Clerk Wright. It has been supported by Trustee Martin to consider the approval of the change order for the multipurpose room. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Wright, would you please do a roll call?
Trustee Martin? Yes. Trustee Frazier? Trustee White?
No.
Trustee Miller? Yes. Trustee Bud?
Yes.
Yes for me. Supervisor McNair?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next item is to consider approval of the selection of Davenport Brothers Construction Company for the design, build, renovation of the boardroom at Township Hall. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the selection of Davenport Brothers Construction Company for the design and build and renovation of the boardroom at the Township Hall.
Okay.
Thank you, Board, for the last decision. I will now talk to you about something a little more familiar, a more traditional bid process that you should be able to sink your teeth into because it's something that we do on a regular basis. This is, I bring to you today the approval of the selection of Davenport Brothers Construction Company Incorporated for the design, build, renovation of the boardroom at Township Hall. We have gone out as part of the CIP Plus project, which we've talked about already. Has been the same since 1996. And as I said last night, and I really enjoyed saying it, I'm going to say it again, this room is where the magic happens. This is where government happens. And it's
Please.
time for government to look as good as we feel. So when we're going to be performing and working hard for the residents, and the residents come here to speak, we already have high technology in this office, in this building for this, but now it's time to update this shop here for. So what we decided to do is we put out a bid on Mitten, which is the largest electronic bidding process in the state of Michigan, where hundreds of contractors around the state and local were able to view the bid for this project. And this project entails a handful of things, but I will describe them to you. The removal of the existing carpet in this room, providing new carpet, wall base, and wall finishes in this room, removing the existing ceiling pads and the tiles. We will utilize the existing power and existing data, so no electrical work. We'll provide a new storage closet at the location of the coat hanging area so that we can hide things instead of having that. Even though it's great, our picture wall up there, we're going to be able to put that away. We're going to paint all the doors, walls, and frames. We're going to protect, in the base bid, we are protecting the existing logo on the wall. And there are two alternate bids for this, which the first alternate is the design of a new logo and accent finishes for that wall, and the second was to, instead of refinishing the board table, as we would do in the base bid, which would be to put a new board table in. After talking last night, we're still going to explore the new logo, from my understanding, under this.
We are.
But we are going to stick with the refinishing and refurbishing of the existing table, and not, my understanding is we're not considering the alternate of the new table. Also in the trustee office, which the public doesn't get to see very often, but the furniture in there will be, the carpet will be restored, the old carpet out, new carpet in, the walls will be painted, the ceilings will be taken care of. In both rooms, new LED lighting will be brought in so that the cable department can continue its fine broadcast so you can see clearly our trustees and elected officials making decisions and see our residents clearly. And that's part of this project. And we bid this project out not only to hundreds of firms, but we also individually made sure that the firms we've done business in the past got a contact saying, hey, check out the bid on BidNet, it's out today. So we made sure that we took care of, contacted as many people as possible. There were 3 companies that came in, Davenport Brothers Construction, Cross Renovations, and Allied Building Services. And Allied Building Services was very interested in this project. However, when the bids came in to this, Davenport Brothers Construction came in at $97,000. The next nearest bid was Cross Renovations. Even though Allied Building Services attended the mandatory pre-bid, they did not put a price on. So Davenport Brothers Construction is going to be performing, if you so choose, will perform the project. They are proposing, the best way to describe it is, they know how important this room is. It is the first thing that most people see when it comes to township government, and they take pride in this community. They made it clear that the fixtures and products that they'll be putting in are top-notch, top of the line. Their price doesn't reflect that, which is great for us, but they are doing a fantastic job. They're giving us a fantastic price for fantastic service. In this document and scope of services, they will perform all these things for the $97,000 for both rooms. And one thing they're doing that's different than what we asked for, which is really going to sharpen up, is, and there was a question yesterday about sound. One of the things that they're proposing is they are actually going to go, they're going to, as part of their price, we only ask them to remove the tiles and replace them, and these are currently 2x4 tiles. They are actually proposing in their project to rip out the existing grid, put in a new grid, and go to a 2x2 tile system with panels that will help. They're not soundproof panels, but they are much better than the ones that we have. It's not a complete solution, but it's better than the ones that we will be putting, that we have now. So as part of their project and something, an extra that they're giving us, they're actually switching and putting in a new ceiling, which will be fantastic. With that, I'd be happy to answer any, the electrical, the LED lighting, they're actually putting in some pretty awesome fixtures so that you won't have any trouble seeing anything at the board table or at your seat. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have about this.
Miller, then Frazier.
So these lights here that are blinding at times, will these be still in place or are those getting replaced?
Those lights will be replaced with a different product. And those are actually necessary for the cable view, but there's gonna be a different lighting, and I'm not the lighting expert, but as it was described to me, there's different colors for lighting. There's warm colors and cool colors. The best color scheme for the cable department is what, in their service, is what's gonna be applied here at the front, so.
Changed out? Okay, to make, okay.
It will make us look the best we can.
It takes away 10 years, I hear.
All right, so.
Well, I saw, we have a few people in the audience that when he said, we're gonna tear out the carpet and everything, I saw somebody look at the carpet, gee, it looks pretty good to me. And I saw him I noticed them kind of saying something to each other, what is wrong? Everything looks pretty good to me. So I think there's questions. I mean, to me, this room is adequate and good. You know, I can see, I mean, everything's intact. It's, the carpet doesn't have any rips in it or doesn't look tore up. And, you know, is it really necessary, I guess? But I guess you want a more modern look. So I don't know. I'm only one vote.
Director works for us. It's not him that wants it. It's
You
the
know,
board.
the color that we're using to accent, I noticed this, the color that we're accenting with out there, same color almost as here, and the same color as back there. It looks like to me, in your rendering that you gave, put your rendering up of the clerk's office. It
The
looks
bl-
very
the blue?
similar to this
The blue?
color. Yeah, the blue. So, you know, I like it, but I mean, why, are we gonna be using the same color scheme in here, or we don't know? That looks very similar to, the colors in here, maybe a little bit darker, that's all. So, I don't know if we're making a big impact in modernization, you know, look or not, I don't know. I question the expense.
So this carpet, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's.
Why replace it? Does it need replacing? Is it a safety issue? If it is, then replace it. If not, let's talk about it. The color scheme, you know what I don't like when I look down the hall and I see your beautiful section in that beautiful blue, and I look over, no offense, over by you, it's a different color. You know, it should all blend for me, but we all have different opinions on that. Let's get back to why we're replacing this carpet. When you first look at it, it looks fine.
Yes.
I think if you looked up here, the carpet up here is all rippled.
Right.
It's all rippled in the trustee's office.
I've tripped on
And
it.
eventually, it's rippled across the back. So it's all gonna eventually give up. It's not as bad as it is here, but here it's a trip hazard.
Oh, yes, we've tripped on it a few times.
Right here?
All right, Clerk
Oh, I see
Wright.
it down there by you.
Clerk Wright. Oh, sorry, you weren't done. I'm sorry.
I would like to hear from the director as to,
Well, actually, it's not the director. The director's doing what he's being told to do. This was a directive from the board 2 years ago, and we were talking about things we needed to do. We needed to do the fire. We needed to do the dispatch. We needed to do the police, the stations. We needed to do the hallways. We needed to do the recreation area, and the boardroom was brought up as a high priority. By the way, I think it was higher priority than a lot of the other areas. And so that's where it came from. So it's not the director, it's us. If we want to do this room, we should do this room. If we aren't doing this room, then we're not doing it.
But he knows the history is what I'm saying. He
Okay,
knows the
well,
history
yeah.
about how we got here. He can explain the safety end of it and why we chose to, this board all had input on that as to how we wanted our township to look. So
So the carpet is at the end of its useful life. Carpet usually, I mean, one of the reasons why the carpet looks as good as it does is this room has been limited in its use by the programmatic decisions of the township. We kind of use this sparingly and caringly, this room, and that's how it's been for a long time. We use it for board and planning commission and BZA, and maybe a meeting here or there, and that's it. Sometimes training, but the other rooms that we've changed out the carpet multiple times have daily, if not intense use. There are areas of this carpet where we've had to actually fix and replace, and not replace the carpet, but get it back flat because for safety reasons. It's very difficult to do that in such a large area without disrupting everything. So the carpet is at the end of its useful life. I mean, we're probably 5 years past its useful time, at least.
Through the chair.
Right?
Also, I think you need to mention that not only in here, this is probably the last room that we're changing the carpet. Most other rooms, the carpet has been changed. My office, the treasurer office, your office, the supervisor office, public safety, Otisville Sheldon. This is the last room. And one of the things that when they started changing the carpet, when the experts came in and started talking about carpet, things that you can't see is things that's in the carpet that makes employees sick. People was always getting allergies and being ill in my office prior to me changing the carpet. And I've noticed a big difference after we changed the carpet and keep it clean. It's like you said, it's past its yearly, it's our life expectation for one thing. It's over 25 years old. It's time to replace the carpet. Just like in your house, you don't keep your carpet in 30 years in your house, you change it. Same thing here. This is the aesthetic of the township. It needs to be changed and it has to need to be updated. It's something that needed to been done prior, but we just have the resources, came across the resources last year and split the program aside to do it. And that's why we're doing it. The supervisor almost fell a few minutes ago before the board meeting started. His chair actually fell down to the floor. All the chairs up here need to be replaced, and we've been sending these chairs for 25. Well, I haven't, but I've been for a while. They've been here for 25 years, along with the chairs in the den room and the meeting room that we meet with the public and do our business. It may look good because we take good care of it, but that don't mean it haven't exceeded life expectation.
And I'll talk to the clerk's reference to furniture. The furniture is not part of this project. The furniture is actually being purchased separately. We have American Interiors, which we have a state pricing with. We get the furniture for the lowest price available across the board. If we got it from one vendor or the other, it would be the same price. We will be purchasing 100 chairs for the audience, brand new ones, and the board members will get to. We're going to be purchasing chairs for the board members, high back chairs. We haven't selected them. I think that's something that the board will do, select those chairs as part of a test out process, but we're ready to move forward on the furniture as well.
That might, White and McNamara.
What about alternate number one, design and provide a new logo? I love this logo, and I think it's very appropriate for our township. And I think we should scrap that because what can we do better than what we have now? That's my opinion.
I think the design would be to lay it out, but it would be to actually produce a new this is being an old logo. The new logo would look the same, but it would be new material and it wouldn't be dented and stuff like that. So that's what I think. I think that's what they mean there. We're not looking to replace that.
We're changing the
No,
logo.
we're not looking to
just-
replace the logo.
It says design and provide a new logo.
New logo, yeah.
And what is design?
You gotta
Maybe
lay
a
you gotta
different
lay that
material.
out. Yeah,
Deleted that out then, okay, so no, okay.
I'll delete that out, but okay. Um, All right, yeah, at any rate, I will say this, I'm really didn't care one way or the other whether you did this room. I kind of almost was against it originally. I was against a lot of the areas. Clerk Wright mentions the sickness that's what's in these carpeting floors. We had to air this building out for 2 days. We could almost not work in this building just by pulling up the tiles in the back areas. There is smells and stuff that gets into these rugs and these carpets that you don't know. And I found it back in my office when I walked in. It hit me in the face. I was going through the closets trying to figure out what that smell was, and they came in and they told me it was coming from the recreation area. I couldn't believe it. I went down there and it got stronger and stronger and stronger. We aired the building out for 2 days. There is stuff after 25 years, I guess this stuff collects stuff in it. And I may not have been for doing this originally 2 years ago. I kind of am now because it really, really is bad what's inside of these.
Opt for a vinyl instead of a carpeting.
You know what?
because,
In 25
it
years, that'll
might
be the next guy's issue. with
It
this.
might
We'll
be
take care of ours.
more, if we're saying the carpet holds molds or dirt and all that, we.
5 years, it collected something in it.
Want to consider that. It might wear better and it might hold up better. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've all had input on what you brought forward. And to change it now, I don't see the point in it. I like the choices that we made. You know, last night we were willing to drop thousands on a logo in the middle of the floor. You know, they're good ideas, but you know what? Let's stick to what we've planned, cut back on the extras, and put them in on areas where safety is concerned.
And you're right, and you're almost done. This is really one of the last sections of upgrading the facilities of Van Buren Township in its entirety. Both fire stations, the police station, the dispatch area. We're upgrading some of the garaging outside, this building.
I can't wait.
We're almost done.
We're gonna be glamorous for
Okay.
sure.
We just
Yeah.
want a product that will hold up.
For 25 years.
Sure.
I think the vinyl will hold up better than the carpet, but I don't know. It's cleaner.
It sounds like I have a consensus to move on to the vote.
Yes.
I have a motion by Trustee Frazier.
I'd just like to say that I'm well pleased that Davenport Brothers, who are local and pay taxes in the township, and they do excellent work. They've done work for the schools before, and they always stand behind their work. They're doing work on the splash pad for the township, and they're a dedicated company. So I'm pleased with who we picked, but I don't know if it's necessary, but
Okay.
hey.
I have a motion for approval by Trustee Frazier, who made the motion. It is supported by Trustee Miller to consider Davenport Construction to build the boardroom. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you. Reports. Madam Secretary, could you please note that the reports have been received and filed by the board? We move on to public comment. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak? I thought so. Come on up.
Wow.
Thank you.
You have 3 minutes, and we generally do not respond from the podium, but we will respond very quickly. We'll have a director talk to you right away, or us, because the meeting will be over very shortly. Okay? Sorry, 3 minutes. 3 minutes, yeah.
My name is Sheila Green, and I'm a trustee for Waldenwood subdivision.
Oh,
And on May 23rd, Thursday, I came up here and wrote a letter to Mr. Akers to what I want. 1/5 of our subdivision has streetlights. 4/5 does not. We can't get enough people to sign a petition for it. And Mr. Akers had indicated to Charles Arnold, our president, that perhaps there's a safety issue. I don't know the term, if it's eminent domain or whatever, but I would like him to talk to me and let me know, or the city attorney, if there's some way we can do it. On May 23rd, I came by the office and they said he was around, so I left a lengthy note saying what I wanted. And yesterday, I left a lengthy note, and I just want him to talk to me.
Ma'am, you need to talk to me, and I think I can make you half happy, okay? So I have a solution, but it's not, but I need a board vote by the HOA, so we'll talk afterwards, okay? All right.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. It's good to meet you.
Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? Hearing none, any board comments on non-agenda items?
I do.
Miller?
You know, I'm going to circle back to what we were discussing earlier about spotlighting community members. And I don't want to say that challenging or asking questions, or even sometimes it does get contentious, absolutely. And I don't want to take away from that or mislead anyone. And if I've done that, I'm sorry about that, but my point was that I want to end these meetings on a good note, bring people forward who are doing good. And I'd like board support on that. We've talked about this. So I just want to hear from the rest of you as if you want to entertain and support this idea. If you
Sure.
don't, okay.
You can start today. You got Ashley Shoecat out there.
Yeah. Let's sing Kumbaya.
Ending the board meeting on a positive note by shining positivity. If you don't want to do that, okay, I get it.
A positive note.
I'd like to hear from other board members.
I
If
make a
may.
motion, we adjourn.
I'll make a statement that we have 7 different people sitting here, all doing probably 7 different jobs. And there's no way that all of us are going to agree 100% on each item that comes before us, because there's a couple of items here I voted yes for that, I really wanted to vote no, but no, it would be passed anyway, so just to be somewhat of a team player. And we all are individuals, and we all have different places in life, and our families are all similar but different as far as education, sports, everything else that goes on. So it's almost impossible for 7 members to think alike on every item that comes before us. And I think that all of you should agree to that, and if you don't, then God bless you. And that's the reason why we are elected by our residents, is to work for them, spend the money for them, and make decisions for them. That's the only reason we're here, is to create a community that our residents want to live in, to make sure that they have all of the services that are necessary. That's our primary responsibility, giving them services: water, sewer, police, fire, and everything else. And I think we did an outstanding job of that, but some of this other stuff is just plain pure BS, and I'll say it, and everything. I agree with a lot of you. This boardroom could probably go another 4 or 5 years without having anything done with it. But if it's the board's desire to improve it, then so be it. We'll improve it. But I'm happy to say that we're keeping the table, because I can't see anything wrong with this table. And I totally understand that most of us may state an opinion or make an impression at the board meeting. Some of us do not on every single issue. So but I agree with you. We should try to leave on a happy basis. That should be our goal. But it was the Tigers' goal to win the World Series last year. That didn't happen, okay? And it's just their goal to win the World Series this year, and that's not going to happen.
Don't follow.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but that's the same way. That could be our goal.
time.
But, pardon?
Finish up, you're running out of time.
Running out of time? It's only 7:25, Kevin,
I know.
Supper will be ready when I get home. And and it's not going to happen, but we need to work together to make sure on all the important things that concern the safety, health, and welfare of our residents, that we are on the same page. Anything else that is discretional, we have every right to show an individual response on how we feel about it.
Motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Frazier, Miller. All in favor of adjourning? Aye.
Happy 4th, everyone.
Thank you. Sorry. All right.
So are you closed on Friday?
Yeah.
The